What if the world you see with open eyes isn't the only one that's real? What if, when you close them, the truer world begins to speak? What if dreams, those fleeting, fragile visions, aren't chaos, but code, a language older than words, written not on paper, but on the surface of your mind? For thousands of years, humans have wandered through the night, visiting landscapes that vanish with the dawn, speaking to lost loved ones, falling, flying, remembering things they've never lived. But what if those dreams were never meant to be forgotten? What if every image, the door you can't open, the voice you can't hear, isn't random, but deliberate? A message from the part of you that never sleeps. Welcome, traveler of the unseen. Tonight, we drift beyond the veil of reason, into a realm where memory becomes myth, and the soul speaks softly in symbols. This isn't just a story about dreams. It's about communication between the conscious and the infinite. This is the secret language of dreams, how the mind speaks when words fall silent. Part 1. The Old Believers, when dreams were sacred. Long before science measured sleep in brainwaves and REM cycles, ancient civilizations treated dreams as sacred transmissions. To them, night was not for rest, it was for revelation. In Egypt, temples known as sleep sanctuaries stood in silence, waiting for those who sought divine answers. People would lie on stone floors, hoping the gods would visit in visions, and when they awoke, priests would interpret the messages that came from beyond the veil. In Greece, the Oracle of Delphi spoke of dream visitations from Apollo. In Mesopotamia, kings recorded their dreams on clay tablets, consulting wise interpreters before making war or peace. Among indigenous tribes across the world, dreams were spirit journeys, where ancestors whispered warnings and totems revealed destiny. They all believed one thing: dreams were real, not illusions, not random, but a form of communication between the mortal and the eternal. But as centuries passed, the language of dreams was slowly dismissed, first as superstition, then as fantasy. The world turned its attention outward, and in doing so, forgot to listen inward. Yet, the old believers might have known something we've lost: that dreams aren't distractions from reality, but doors to it. That in the quiet dark, when the mind drifts free, something ancient still speaks. And if you listen closely enough, you might just hear it, whispering in the language only the soul remembers. Part 2. The Science of Sleep and Symbols. Modern science has mapped the night, dissecting sleep into stages and rhythms, charting the mind as it drifts from waking to dreaming. Electrodes record bursts of activity. Scanners reveal the brain lighting up as if living another life. Neuroscientists say that when we dream, the mind is sorting memories, pruning, repairing, reorganizing. The hippocampus replays the day's moments, stitching emotions into stories so we can understand what words cannot explain. In this view, dreams are not prophecy, but psychology, the subconscious tidying its thoughts. And yet, there's a mystery science can't quite silence. Why do these stories feel so real? Why does the heart race at an imagined fall, or ache at a reunion that never happened? Because even if dreams are made of neurons, their language isn't logical, it's symbolic. The mind doesn't speak in sentences when we sleep. It speaks in images, sensations, fragments of truth. A door might mean opportunity. Water, emotion. A faceless stranger, a version of yourself not yet met. Carl Jung once wrote that dreams are the small hidden door to the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul. Perhaps both science and spirit are right, one studying the mechanism, the other hearing the meaning. Maybe the dream is not random at all. Maybe it's your consciousness, translating emotion into poetry, speaking in symbols, so that your waking self might finally understand. Part 3. The Architecture of the Subconscious. Beneath the surface of awareness lies a vast, silent world, the subconscious. It holds everything you've seen, felt, feared, and forgotten. Every scent that passed you by, every face you didn't remember noticing, all archived, quietly shaping the stories of your dreams. Psychologists describe this realm as the mind's hidden cathedral, built not of stone, but of symbols. Its architecture is fluid, shifting walls, melting doors, corridors that lead inward instead of out. Here, your logic dissolves, and emotion takes form. Guilt becomes shadow. Desire becomes fire. Fear takes the shape of a figure chasing you through endless streets. Carl Jung called these recurring images archetypes, ancient symbols shared by all humanity. The child, the mother, the hero, the shadow, these forms rise from the collective unconscious, bridging your individual experience with the memory of the entire human story. In this architecture, everything has meaning. The collapsing building, the endless staircase, the mirror that won't show your face. Each is a message, not a mystery. The subconscious doesn't speak to confuse you. It speaks to remind you of what you've buried. And when it builds these dreamscapes, it's not creating illusion. It's constructing truth, piece by piece, until you're ready to see it. Because the dream doesn't show you what you know. It shows you what you've forgotten, and what you're finally ready to remember. Part 4. Dreams as Mirrors. Dreams are not random flickers of imagination. They are mirrors polished by the soul. Each night, as you drift beyond consciousness, your mind holds up its quiet reflection, not of your face, but of your truth. In this mirror, the surface world dissolves. You may find yourself walking through a childhood home, hearing the voice of someone long gone, or facing a version of yourself that feels both familiar and foreign. These reflections are not illusions. They're fragments of who you are and who you've been. Every dream is a dialogue between your waking self and your hidden self. When you dream of falling, perhaps you're losing control. When you dream of flight, perhaps you've found freedom. A locked door may not be a door at all. It could be a boundary you've built around your emotions. The subconscious has no interest in disguises. It reveals, but in a language of feeling, not words. The mirror of dreams doesn't lie. It distorts only to help you see more clearly. Like light passing through water, truth bends in ways that make it bearable to look at. And if you listen closely, you'll realize that every dream is an act of self-recognition. The faces, the places, the stories, all are you, reflected back in infinite shapes. Dreams don't just show us what we are. They remind us that we are more than we appear to be. Part 5. The Shared Dream. Though dreams feel deeply personal, they often echo a rhythm that hums across humanity. Across cultures, centuries, and continents, people dream of falling, flying, losing their way, or being chased. It's as if, beneath our individual lives, we share a single, sleeping mind, a dream that belongs to all of us. Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of shared symbols, emotions, and memories inherited through generations. When a child in India dreams of an ocean swallowing the sky, and another in Brazil dreams the same, it's not coincidence. It's the collective whisper of human fear, awe, and transformation. Ancient civilizations knew this truth instinctively. Aboriginal Australians spoke of the dream time, a sacred dimension where creation itself began and where all beings remain connected. In Tibetan Buddhism, dream yoga treats the dream world as a shared plane of awakening, not escape. Perhaps that's why art, myth, and religion often mirror our most common dreams. They're fragments of this shared landscape, humanity's way of remembering together. So when you dream of falling endlessly, you're not alone. Someone else, somewhere, dreams of falling too. Your subconscious is not isolated. It's part of an ocean of minds, where every ripple touches another. Dreams remind us that we are separate only in waking life. When we sleep, we return to the same ancient field, the shared dream of being human. Part 6. The Forgotten Language. Long before the age of science and reason, people believed dreams were messages, whispered from gods, ancestors, or unseen realms. They listened carefully, translating symbols into meaning, treating sleep as a sacred space. Over time, as the world grew louder and logic took the throne, we began to forget that language. The tongue of dreams, once fluent and alive, became a fading echo. Yet, it still speaks. Every night, we just stopped listening. The language of dreams is not made of words, but of feelings, symbols, and sensations. It's the flutter of wings when you feel trapped, the rising tide when emotions overflow, the endless hallway when life feels uncertain. This is not fantasy. It's communication in its purest form. Each symbol has roots that run deep into both the personal and the collective. A forest might mean safety to one and fear to another. Water could be memory, birth, or cleansing. The grammar of dreams is written in the ink of experience. To relearn this language, one must return to silence, to stillness, to observe, not interpret, to feel, not decode. Because dreams are not puzzles to be solved, they are poems to be understood. And perhaps, if you listen closely enough, you'll begin to remember this forgotten language. The one your soul still speaks fluently, even when your waking mind does not. Part 7. Remembering the message. When we wake, dreams slip away like mist at sunrise, fragile, beautiful, and fleeting. Within moments, what felt vivid becomes a blur. But every forgotten dream leaves a trace, a subtle emotional imprint that follows us through the day. A quiet echo of something our subconscious tried to say. Remembering a dream is not just about memory, it's about attention. The more we listen, the louder it speaks. Keeping a dream journal, for instance, teaches the mind that its whispers matter. Over time, the details, colors, faces, feelings begin to return. Patterns emerge. And soon, the chaos turns into conversation. But the goal isn't to translate every image into logic. It's to sense the message beneath it. Dreams rarely speak in direct sentences. They speak in symbols, mood, and metaphor. A storm may not predict disaster. It may reflect inner turmoil. A broken bridge may not mean loss. It might mean change. Each dream, however strange, holds a purpose to guide, to release, to reveal. When you start remembering them, you're really remembering yourself, the hidden parts that surface only in silence. So when you open your eyes each morning, pause. Sit in the stillness between sleeping and waking. Listen to what remains, that lingering emotion, that half-remembered image. Because sometimes the message isn't in the dream itself. It's in the feeling that refuses to fade. Epilogue. The dreamer awakes. And now, the dream fades. The symbols dissolve, the faces retreat, and reality reclaims its throne. Yet something lingers, a soft shimmer between worlds, reminding you that the line between sleeping and waking was never meant to be a wall, but a veil. For centuries, mystics, poets, and seekers have called this moment the second awakening, when one realizes that life itself may be another kind of dream. The city lights, the voices, the passing days, all threads woven by a greater mind. Perhaps yours, perhaps something beyond. Dreams do not end when the eyes open, they only change form. The dream continues, through the choices you make, the stories you tell, the futures you imagine. So as you rise, remember this. You are both the dream and the dreamer, the architect and the witness. And every night, when darkness closes in again, you do not fall asleep. You return home,